We return to the south end zone of Kyle Field, 12th Man Studios. Will Johnson with you. Texas A&M signing them up this morning, a class of 24 total. It's the class of 2025, 24 total new Aggies on that roster list, and 3 of them are wide receivers. So we are going to begin with our wide receivers coach, Holmon Wiggins. But first of all, Coach, nice to see you. This is always one of those big days that's not a game day for any college football program.
Absolutely. When you talk about recruiting, right, it's the lifeblood of your team. So getting a chance to kind of bring in some new energy, some good players to kind of mesh with the current players that you have is always a good day.
And you'll have 3 of them that you'll coach in this signing class. And there's other, you guys have recruiting territories. You go out and you recruit others. So a lengthy process that we're going to cover today. But going to dig into the 3 that you will coach. And we've got highlights of them throughout the morning with every coach we visit with today. And why don't we start right here in the state of Texas, down toward the coast, Hitchcock, Texas. Kelshawn Johnson comes to you. And first of all, this is a top 200 player nationally, according to ESPN.com.
Yes. Well, Kelshawn Johnson, he was a joy to recruit. You know, his mom and sister Kai, they did a good job of kind of making sure that he kept and stayed grounded kind of throughout this process. Played at Hitchcock. You know, their season kind of ended shortly. He, in the last 3 years, won 30 games, lost 6. You know, so he's a proven winner. Unbelievably explosive, probably one of the more explosive guys kind of in this class. He's been a joy to recruit, a joy to kind of get to know. I feel like he's going to add some really great speed to kind of what we're doing. You talk about a true home run hitter and some of the things that he can do with the ball in his hands. Has really good instincts, how to run routes, how to read coverages and do some different things. And he's been working on his craft for a while. You know, his trainer, we've gotten a chance to kind of learn a little bit about each other. Chaz, who works out there in that area as well. So, you know, I appreciate Kelshawn throughout this process, and I'm excited about what he's going to do here at Texas A&M.
Moving on, you mentioned Kelshawn. He can kind of stretch the field, maybe a little bit of a home run hitter. And Tristan Norman is up next from Montgomery, Alabama, went to Carver High School. One of the things that jumped out to me as a senior, over 20 yards per catch. So is that about stretching the field as well with Tristan?
Yes. When you talk about recruiting guys, what we want to make the defense do is defend every blade of grass. You know, so when you have guys that can stretch the field vertically and horizontally, that makes those guys have to, you know, sit there and thin out. And gives us a little bit of an advantage, right? When you talk about TK, there's some toughness that comes with him. There's burst and acceleration, as you can kind of see in his play speed. The one thing that I was most impressive with, and you probably may not see it on the highlights, is him playing without the ball. I felt like he played with a chip on his shoulder, played with some toughness, but there's no doubt when he does have the ball, he can stretch the field. The ability to average 20 point or over 20 yards a catch is impressive. You know, and we definitely need that explosiveness and that ability to stretch the field vertically to give ourselves a chance to create more explosives offensively.
I like what you said without the ball, because sometimes that downfield block can be the difference between a first down and an explosive play touchdown.
We try to tell all those guys, duty's gonna call, right? We love to feature those guys because they do come here to catch the ball, but there's gonna be some times where they won't, and we definitely need those guys to kind of buy into what we call the men of the team.
Going on to your 3rd wide receiver that you have in the class, Draper, Utah, is his hometown. Corner Canyon High School. Jerome Miles, some people use that term signing day surprise. I don't know if he's a surprise, but a late addition to the class, but a big addition to the class in Jerome Miles.
Definitely a huge addition to this class. He's been a guy that we've recruited ever since the summer. Coach Klein did a great job of going down in the spring, you know, looking at the quarterback and also looking at Jerome, and came back and said they have a dynamic receiver that we really need to kind of get in the mix on. So he OV'd in the summer. We've been able to kind of develop a relationship kind of throughout the whole process. But you talk about a kid that's a proven winner, back-to-back 6A state champs. And I feel like you talk about putting a Bugatti engine inside a GMC Sierra truck, and that's what he is, right? Elite speed at 10-200 meters, right? A frame of 6'2", 220 pounds that does a great job of being able to play with toughness, has the ability to drop his weight, soft hands, and has a skill set that is kind of unmatched. So, you know, he has a frame and has the ability to step in, you know, as a day one guy and impact this game.
One of the things about all 3 of them, Kelshawn, basketball state champion. Tristan is a long jumper. Jerome's a sprinter. It seems like it's always a topic on signing day. These guys play other sports, and it kind of gives you a glimpse of their athleticism when they can do something.
It definitely gives you a glimpse of their athleticism. I always also love to think it gives you a glimpse at how competitive those guys are, right? And when you talk about competitive character, that's a huge part in kind of this recruiting process, because you get here and all of a sudden there's this melting pot of different backgrounds, of different places, but we're all here to play football, right? And for us, we need to make sure that we're gaining a competitive edge by putting the best product out there on the field.
All right. Big day for the Aggies, big day for you. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.